Today I'm starting another brand new agency from scratch to show you guys what is possible in just a small amount of time, and I'm going to give away the entire thing to one of you guys for free. Yeah, I'm serious. I'm also going to buy you a brand new MacBook and give you 12 months access to the software that you need to deliver a great service for your clients and manage your whole sales process called High Level. So I can't wait to get into this. And if you don't know me, you haven't watched me before, my name's Jordan Platton, I own Affluent.co. I'm a multi-7-figure agency owner. I've been in this industry for 8 years now. I've helped thousands of people start agencies of their own. I put out free content on this YouTube channel to help people just like you start from zero, regardless of where you are based in the world. So let's get straight into this. It's been hard to dedicate the time to creating a video like this in a while, but I'm here now and we've got it, and I'm looking forward to getting into it, guys. We're going to be going through all these foundations today. I'm going to be choosing a niche, and I'm going to be randomly selecting a niche on this wheel here. We've got a whole bunch of different niches here. This is not limited to just the best niches, all loads of random niches there. So I don't know what we're going to be doing yet. We're going to establish the ICP, which is the ideal customer profile, what kind of client we want to be going for. I'm going to decide the perfect service for that niche and ICP. We're then going to select an agency name. We're going to create the logo, and hopefully if we've got time today, we're also going to create a website as well. And I'm going to be using AI as much as possible to expedite this process. Then we're going to be diving, or hopefully I say we're going to be diving into, if we've got time, we're going to be diving into lead generation. We're going to be going through the outreach strategy. We're going to develop an offer, and we might even script out the emails, DMs, and cold calls. Although this time round, I'm probably not going to be outreaching to clients and be signing clients up for this agency. I did this about 10 months ago in our RenoReach series, which was a massive hit. You guys loved it. Got almost a million views on this series. I signed up a couple of clients in just 4 days of launching this agency, documented the entire process. You should definitely go and check that out. It'll really help you if you're just starting out. Although it took me like a week or two of my time in planning and execution to create this series for you. And that is a huge amount of time when you're running a multi-7-figure business, and we're trying to scale to $1 million a month at the moment. And so I just cannot pull myself away from the company at the moment to record that kind of style of content. So we'll see how deep we get into this based on the feedback from you guys, based on the comments, based on the love. If you're really loving it, then we might be able to stretch. We'll see. Okay. So let's get started with this. We're going to choose the niche, and we're going to randomly select this. I'm going to record this as raw as possible. I'm just going to sit here for the next couple of hours and just bosh all of this work out and just record absolutely everything we can, and then we'll mash it together in post. So hopefully it comes out all right. So who are we going to work with? Who's it going to be? Bricklayers. Okay. Cool. I'll take it. Bricklayers. So bricklayers is a sub-niche within home improvement, okay? Actually quite a good niche in my area. There's quite a lot of... Is this too close to the RenoReach we were doing? In the RenoReach series, we were doing home improvement businesses. Like bricklayers, is that a little bit too close? Is that potentially boring? Let's just see a second option. I'm going to spin. I'm not cheating, guys. I want this to be diverse for you. I want this to be diversely different to what you've already seen. So... electricians now. We're going to go with we're going to stick with the original bricklayers, okay? So we are going for bricklayers within the agency. That is cool. Let me just close some of these tabs. And what I've done is I've got a Notion template here that I created that's going to help us through this process. So these are the things that we're going to be building out over the course of today. And so our niche is bricklayers. Now, let me just put this desk up and then we can move on. I've been sitting all day. Okay. Where are we at? Come on, camera, recognize me. Follow. Now what you can't see is I have just set up the under desk treadmill, which I got, which is I've got a little remote here. It's a new, you could call it a gimmick, but actually one of my team members got one of these recently, and it's just been the best thing. When I'm in hibernation, sometimes I work like 12, 14-hour days, and you might be thinking, well, Jordan, I'm not trying to start an agency to work 14-hour days, right? I'm a psycho. I love work. I'm addicted to work, and I just love growing shit. And so sometimes I'll hibernate and I won't leave the house, and then for me, that's a problem. Like, you've got to leave the house, you've got to get some exercise in, you've got to stay fit, and so this makes me feel better about that fact. Just having a little walk on the treadmill. Okay, hopefully that's not too distracting. So, we've chosen a niche. Barely. That was nice and random. And now we're going to establish our ICP, so our ideal customer profile. Who is that? Okay, so what it actually is an ICP, I think it was worth explaining that first of all. So I've got on the right hand side here, ICP is your ideal customer. So it's the company size, it's their revenue level, it's who the decision maker is, it's what their pain points are, it's their business goals, it's potential bottlenecks. And it's really important that as an agency owner we have a very solid understanding of specifically who it is we are trying to target, of specifically who it is we are trying to sell a product or service to. Okay, we can't just blindly go into this and be like, oh, I want to work with kitchen and bathroom showrooms. Okay, cool. So, but what do kitchen and bathroom showrooms actually want? Okay, and not what I've told you they want or some other guy that on YouTube told you they want. But have you researched what the businesses in your local area are actually looking for? Okay, and not what they're necessarily looking for, but what would be suitable for them based on their individual circumstances. Are their websites good? Are some business industries are going to have better marketing in other areas because by product of their surroundings, other people are better at marketing and therefore it elevates their standard. In other areas, everyone will be dog shit at marketing because no one cares about their website, etc. So you've got to do your own individual research. So we really need a location. This is not something I really thought out, but generally speaking, we start locally. And so I'm not going to do this local to me because that'll be boring and I've got an unfair advantage. I'm going to do this to, let's do this to, where can we do? Toronto, Canada. So, Toronto bricklayers. So what I want to do first of all is I'm going to research how many bricklayers there are in the Toronto area. So if I go on Google, Google's just a wealth of information. We can see on here we've got quite a lot. So we've got 2 pages on Toronto for bricklayers. We allow that to be masonry as well, so walls and so on. And you might be thinking, well, is that a good enough service? And yes, it is. I mean, I got quoted on a wall to be built outside my house not so long ago for 15k. So this can be a very, very good and very suitable service for ads, for paid ads, for whether that's Facebook or Google. I don't want to get ahead of myself just yet, but maybe I've got Toronto bricklayers directory as well. Let's just get an idea of if there is actually a. So we've got yellow pages. Okay, so here we've got, it says 654 results there. That can't be right. That is a lot. Is this correct? Maybe this is a broader area. Who knows? Parking lot repair. So we've got all sorts. So let's just open up some of these. So this would be a really great place to scrape leads, by the way. We've got phone numbers here, we've got websites. We could definitely scrape some leads from here. Let's just open up some of these websites and see what we've got. Kind of companies that we're working with. So notice, so let's just write that down. Masonry, like that's, it's important to note these things. Like other people will call, like certainly in my area around here, if I was to type in Norwich bricklayers, okay, look, everything's called bricklayers. This is where I live. Bricks, and so on, right? But over in Canada, it's all masonry. So we want to take note of that. If we're going to start advertising or we're going to start trying to reach out to those clients and we're calling them bricklayers but they call themselves masonry, what would be the term for that? What is the word for someone that does masonry? What do they call? A mason? A stonemason. Cool. Fine. There we go. So we might be able to use that in our terminology. So anyway, let's have a look at some of these guys. Nice branding, nice website. Okay. These guys look cool. What about their socials? Nice socials. Got some good stuff on here. These guys would be really suitable for ads. I wonder if they are running ads out of interest. And I'm looking at ads because really that's probably the most suitable service for beginners is paid ads. So it's probably the service that we're going to be leaning into. This is what I'm really trying to establish here, is not just who the ideal customer is, but are they actually suitable for the service. So currently not running ads. So it's on Facebook, on the ad library, they're not running ads. And this is a pretty well established company by the looks of things. They're on the top of Yellow Pages. Let's have a look at some of these guys on Maps as well. MB Masonry, there's no website for those guys. So lots of these guys, they're not, here you go, Build Strong Masonry, these guys look more established. I was going to say some of these guys aren't very established as far as the branding and marketing is concerned. Bit of an archaic website here, Build Strong, it's okay actually. Let's have a look what else we've got going on. Instagram, there's a Facebook link there, which is really interesting. So they've got an Instagram profile but no Facebook. So that in itself says opportunity to me. So these are all kind of telling signs of a suitable niche as far as I'm concerned, like in this area. Okay, got their Facebook. Again, websites are pretty decent. Like, there's nothing wrong with these people's websites, which is quite good. And they got content they've been posting 4 days ago, but then the latest post was like 23rd of February, so that was a long time ago. But they're not running ads though. Oh, they are currently running ads. That's cool. Let's have a look. Nice. So these aren't great ads. That's a before and after, but we've got the after up for the before, from dentist office back to its original aesthetic. So these aren't, I mean, the copy is way too chunky. This is a perfect kind of client for me to reach out to and speak to them about the fact that they're already running ads and improve on their current strategy. They're already solution aware, and they're not doing the best job, which makes them very suitable for a sell to an agency service. So that's exciting. There's lots of opportunity for this. So cool. So this is going to be the industry we're going to go for. I'm going to keep things simple, and I'm going to say that as a service we're going to offer, I don't know which camera to talk to. I don't know if this one's blurred out or not. What I'm going to do, I'm going to speak to this. Hopefully this walking isn't too distracting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to offer a Facebook ad service. For bricklayers, I think that is the most suitable, albeit I think Google ads could also be very suitable as well. So the difference between Facebook and Google, Facebook is, when we run ads on Facebook, we are directly putting ourselves in front of our target customer. So they might be sitting at home after a long day, they've got back and they're looking at that shitty brick wall that they've got out the front, and they see an ad from Toronto Masonry Restoration. They think, oh, I really need to get that wall repaired. These guys are here, they've got a good offer right now, a free quotation, a free design. That sounds good. Let me just fill in this form and let me reach out to them. So that's how a Facebook ad works. A Google ad is different. A Google ad is, I come home from work, I see that shitty wall outside, and I say, I need to find someone that's can repair that wall. And so I Google, and because Toronto Masonry Restoration are running Google ads, they're going to hijack themselves to the top of the Google search feed, and therefore I'm more likely to click on them if they've got a nice offer to entice me in with. And so Google is, for Google, where people are coming inbound. Facebook, it's more outbound. And so both of these services would be suitable for this niche. It would depend on the agency, depend on you, depend what avenue you would like to go down. Broadly speaking, they're just as easy as each other to learn. It would be completely your choice. So service-wise, I'm going to put Facebook/Google, just so you guys know that it would be suitable to do either of these. Maybe we can just decide one or two of these in a moment, or later on today, depending on, I'll see what I'm leaning towards, but either of these would be suitable. I'd still recommend just sticking to one service though. When you're first starting out, don't overcomplicate things and go for both Facebook and Google initially, because you're going to confuse yourself. So, okay, so let's go on ChatGPT and let's do a little bit of research for the ICP itself. So we kind of decided the service there. In fact, I'm going to leave that grey just for now, and just until we actually confirm that. So let's go on GPT. So GPT, if you haven't used it, is a great AI chatbot. It's probably the most kind of widely used. So I'm launching a marketing agency in Toronto. Specializing in helping bricklayers, so that's masonry companies, get more leads on a monthly basis. Can you help me build out the ICP. Okay, let's see what it comes up with. Now I'm going to be doing this manually myself. In fact, just before we do that, I'm interested to see what that comes up with. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to come up with this myself, and then we can revert back to what GPT has to say in a moment. So, first of all, company size. These kind of companies, when we're talking about home improvements in general, when we're talking about contractors, there are a lot of one-man bands. The one-man bands don't often make a lot of money. Think about one person putting up bricks outside someone's house or an extension. One person isn't going to get very far very quickly, okay? So they need to be at least really 2 to 10 plus is how many people need to be inside of the company. And revenue-wise, let's say we're selling a Facebook service or a Google service, we're going to be selling that for a minimum of $500 on a monthly basis, ideally $1,000 plus when we're a little bit more established. We can then do some kind of a pay per result or pay on result model where we can do either pay per lead or pay per quotation, for example. We could even do pay per job, and we could get a commission of the amount of money they're making from their clients. But realistically, they need to be making 20K plus on a monthly basis. Like, to be able to consider spending $500, $1,000 on advertisement, they need to be relatively established. So 20K plus really is the minimum. I would probably say 20 to 30K or 20 to 40K plus, 20 to 30K plus, because their profit margins are going to be, I mean, I don't even know. Let's have a look. Profit margins of a bricklayer. Okay, between 25 and 50%. So they're going to be making anything from like 5 to 10K off 20K. So it's not a lot of money at all. So would you consider spending $500 on your advertisement if you're at 20K? Well, it depends how big the pain is. If you've been stuck in that position for a long time, then maybe you would. But 30K plus, yeah, more likely. Decision maker is going to be the business owner. Okay, you might think, well, that's obvious for all businesses, but it's not. If you're working with larger companies, for example, we work with, we just signed up a brand doing 30 million revenue on a yearly basis. There was no way we were going to hold the business owner initially to have that conversation. We had to speak to the marketing department. But we always want to speak to the marketing director or the CMO, which is the chief marketing officer, because we know that person's going to be able to have some kind of authority. So, what are some of the pain points? So I think one of the biggest pain points is they are kind of lack of marketing in general. Physical business owners are kind of stuck in the day-to-day operations of their physical business. They're stuck in the weeds somewhat. They're focused on the delivery of their service, which is great, but it means that they normally lack kind of those marketing skills. And therefore, they have lack the knowledge as well in order to grow, and they don't have no predictable or unpredictable lead flow. So typically speaking, they're kind of reliant on people calling them up, they're reliant on referrals and people coming onto the website, and so they don't have a predictable way of getting clients in. Business goals will be more leads, increased revenue, expansion maybe for some of these guys as well, actually going to kind of multiple locations, so that could be hiring. Separate these out a little bit. And their potential bottlenecks, so these are things that could get in the way. Well, that's going to be knowledge gaps, stuck in their way. Okay, lots of old school business owners in these sub niches, and so yeah, it's hard to convince them that they need to change. And solution unaware, or really time and / capacity. So the actual ability to take on new work. If we get them new leads, can they even handle those leads? You know, sweet. So where are we at? We were going to see what GPT had to say about this. Wow, is that still typing out? Okay, so what's it talking about the ICP? So consider the ideal clients. The average coverage area is local neighborhoods. That's fine. Company size between 5 to 50 employees. Yeah, I think like 2 to 10 plus will be okay, depending on like how high ticket they are. Focus on businesses that offer bricklaying and masonry as a primary service. Consider businesses that have been operational for 1 to 5 years and looking to expand. We mentioned expansion as a business goal. Businesses aiming to increase market share, improve customer acquisition. Companies struggling with digital marketing lead generation. Yeah, fine, we've got all that. Behavioural characteristics. Businesses that are willing to allocate a budget. Yeah, kind of obvious stuff. We haven't really missed anything here. We're pretty good there. Yeah, I'm pretty confident with that. We've got it all covered. So, nice. That's our ICP. Okay, so we know we're going for bricklayers. We know we're in Toronto. Let's think of an agency name, okay? I'd like you to help me come up with the agency name. Please send me 20 options. Now, I don't think that you guys should be too heavily reliant on AI to doing everything for you, because what it will do if you get reliant on AI is it will take away your ability to be creative, and what you cannot just take from front-facing value is the first thing that ChatGPT gives you. But what you can do is, through iterations, allow it to fuel your creative process. So I know right for a start, like, none of these are suitable. These are too long. Like, I don't want an agency called Solid Foundation Marketing, like Stone Mason Marketing Suite. These are way too long. These are too long. Make them shorter. 2 words max. Build brick. Elite masonry. What have we got? Mason lead. Mason lead. Lead mason. Mason lead. I like brick boost. Ooh! Brick boost! I like that. Let's have a look at that. Brickboost.com. Does that exist? Let's go on GoDaddy. GoDaddy is a domain registrar. It's always good to check these things. Brickboost.co.uk, no. Brickboost.com. It's available, but it's a lot. Am I going to spend 5k on a domain when I'm just starting out? No, I'm not. Build brick. Okay, what else we got then? Stone setter, layer boosts, mason leads, build mark, brick boost, masonry boosts, solid mark, stone boost, urban masonry. That's quite cool. Elite masonry, brickworks. Brickworks. Ooh, I like that, but that's going to be taken. Yeah. So it also doesn't have to be, bricks works. What is that? Brickworks. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Craft promo, solid mark. Give me 20 more. Stone media, even is a nice simple one. You don't have to overthink this. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Like, I'm a designer at heart, and so I really like to get these things nailed down. I also think whilst this is loading, I think it's really important to consider that there are 2 ways or 2 avenues to go down when you're starting an agency. You either niche down like I'm doing right now, and you pick a niche from day one and you just focus on that one thing and you try and do it incredibly well and you make your best judgment. That is an option and it works for many people. And the advantages of doing that is when you do your outreach and you're reaching out to people in that specific niche, you have a competitive advantage because you are optimized towards that specific niche, right? And that niche, they're going to be more likely to work with you than they are a generic advertising agency that's called Jordan Media, for example, because they feel like you are specialised in delivering them results. So there is that. And the negatives to doing it this way are, well, if you don't like that niche or if it doesn't work out, then it's a little bit harder to switch niches. You have to rebrand. That said, you can do all of that inside of one day. I think many people overcomplicate that and use that as a mental barrier. It's like, well, I'm called Brick Boost and I work with bricklayers. I'm stuck with this forever. And that's not actually the case. It will only take you about a day to rebrand. It's just your ego that's standing in the way. That would stop you. Stop you from doing that. So there is that. The other argument is, well, if there is someone out there that has a successful agency that's making 6 or 7 figures within that niche, and it's always worth checking it out, and that's actually something we haven't done. Okay, I'm going to just Google that in a moment. If there's someone out there that's built a successful agency in that niche, okay, and you've been trying it for a couple of months and you haven't had any success, It's not because the niche doesn't work, it's because you don't work. And so you need to either improve your sales, you need to improve your lead gen, you need to improve something, okay? And it's okay to be a little bit shit when you're first starting out. It's not okay to give up too soon. So don't niche hop. Now the second option is actually my preferred option, as I actually prefer starting broad, and this is what I did when I first started out, and using what I call a scattergun strategy. Now this strategy is when we just simply pick our location, so we're choosing locally to us, so we're starting off locally so we can leverage our locality, and then when we speak to business owners we have an in with them because we're a local face and people like working with local people. And we don't choose a niche, we kind of pick a generic agency name, we just start working with as many niches as we can in the local area, leveraging that locality. And then whilst we start delivering results, we'll get a good understanding of what niches we enjoy working with, which ones are the easiest to sign, etc. And from there, based on what the data says, after a couple of months of doing this scattergun approach, we can look at our data and then we can decide what niche we want to go down into, and we can just focus on that one thing. So both roads lead to niching down. It's really your choice which of those paths you take. My preference is a scattergun strategy. The dangers are there that it is a little bit harder to sign up clients because you don't specialize. And also lots of agency owners then get stuck in the weeds of being a broad agency and therefore don't kind of pull it back to then being niched down the line. And it is important to do that. So it's your choice. The reason why I'm niching down today is because it makes the content more dynamic. It means I can create a better brand from it. You can see my creative flow. And also means I'm going to give one of you guys a really nice specialized agency that you can go out there, you can start working with this niche straight away with the MacBook, with everything else. And yeah, make sure you enter that, by the way, guys. Click link in the description, join the group, drop a comment down below. I want to know where you're at with your agency right now, what your goals are for starting an agency. Like, drop a comment, let me know. We will be monitoring that, and we'll only enter you if we see you down there. So yeah, I can't wait to give one of you guys this and see what you do with it. So, okay, Bricklayer Agency. So let's do the name and then let's research let's do the name and then we'll have a look at some agencies. Okay, so Craft Brick, Stonelead. I really like Stonelead. Stonelead's nice. Stonelead. Stonelead. It's hard to get a .com, you know. It is hard. You don't need a .com, by the way, like, at all. But it is nice to have that. So that's a full-on brand, so we're not going to do that. Build Lead, Brick Edge, Crafted Edge, Stone Edge. Mason Flow. Ooh. Brickflow. I prefer the word mason for sure. So no one's using that Mason Flow. So we could technically speaking, let's just Google Mason Flow. I do like Mason Flow. Mason Flow is nice. As long as no one's using this, does a YouTube channel. No one's using this. And just because someone's got the .com, we can always get the .com in the future. It doesn't really matter, but let's just see if there's any other suitable. We've got Mason Flow. MasonFlow.ai. There we go. So you could go for a .co, you could go for a .agency. Like, I do like a .ai as a domain. I like it as .ai because it opens us up to that industry in general. It's a buzzword as well, so kind of archaic business owners who aren't really experienced in a niche and experienced in advertising, they hear AI and they're like, oh, that sounds good. We're going to be using a bit of AI and lead generation for our service anyway, and so it's like it's an AI lead generation service for masonry companies. Like, it all fits. So MasonFlow.ai. I'm gonna make that mine. Let's buy this right now. I like it. Okay, so Mason Flow. We've got our domain there. MasonFlow.ai. Ooh, it's a sexy domain. It's a sexy domain. Mason Flow. Let's go for Mason Flow. What does that mean to you? What do you got to say to me? Right, let me just sign up to this. Okay, so they want $200 for this for 2 years. So just before I do this, I'm just going to validate that this is actually a potentially suitable niche, because I don't want to spend $200 on this, build everything out, and then give it to one of you guys if it's not actually going to be a fruitful opportunity for you. So let's do some research. Can you research the internet and see if there are any marketing agencies that exist that specialize in helping bricklayers and or masonry companies? Now we can obviously Google this as well, but ChatGPT does do a really good job at finding this information. My light just went off, so hopefully you can still see everything fine. Okay. So we got no specific. Okay. We've got windmill strategy. There's modern marketing for technical industries. Okay. Advertising for bricklayers. Just because no one's doing it doesn't mean it isn't possible. I think this is what's very important. Because it isn't, just because no one's doing it doesn't mean it doesn't work. It just means that we have to do some better research to understand whether it's actually viable. So let's go over to YouTube and we'll type in like Facebook ads for bricklayers. If there's content on this, then like, this is home improvement, proven Facebook ad strategy for construction contractors. Concrete and masonry. Google Ads PPC, that's interesting. How to use Facebook for your construction company. Okay, so not a lot of content. Let's see what kind of results these guys generated.
My channel. Pretty much what I wanted to do today is actually go through a case study for one of my clients. And what I do primarily is I essentially run Google Ads lead generation campaigns for my clients. And what I wanted to do is kind of
so it's a Google Ad service.
Contract.
They spent $1,000.
They've made plenty of money.
$20 leads.
7 a.m. to 6 p.m.
That's pretty good.
Pretty normal ad.
That's pretty good. 1K spent, $20 leads. That's pretty damn good. And they're doing masonry, concrete, patio, brick repair. And this is a good video to watch. Like, whoever wins this, like, you should watch this video because we can see what's getting the best leads. You know, like the concrete stuff is getting some good leads. But then we've got masonry stuff is getting good leads. The patio stuff is not really getting as many leads. Cool. Nice. What are these guys? How do they? Facebook ads for local service businesses. They don't niche down. Bro, you're missing a trick. You don't. It's kind of local business. It's not really. Yeah, fine. Okay. Cool. I mean, this feels like a very good opportunity for me. This feels like a great opportunity. Let me just go on Facebook and see if I can find any other companies that are potentially running ads here. So, I mean, we've got a lot here. 1,200. Look at this. These are all companies running ads. Masonry, architecture, masonry. You wouldn't have this volume, and like this is where it gets good. Is when we start looking back and like launched in February. So these ads have been running a long time. They get April. These ads have been running a long time, which says to me they're working pretty well. So You wouldn't be running this ad from the 27th of March, it's now the 17th of April, unless you're wasting loads of money. You wouldn't be running these ads unless they were actually converting. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. Yeah, cool. Final thing I'm going to do just to really rule this out is let's do some research on the number of masonry companies. Can you research how many? Can you find? So this is something that's called TAM, Total Addressable Market. And what we're going to be doing is, so total addressable market, we're going to be looking at all of the people that are actually available in our market. We're going to try and find some studies on like how many of these companies actually exist. Can you research how many masonry/brick laying companies there are in the world? Try and find accurate data, and if you can't, please speculate. Okay. So we're not really getting the information we need here, but if we're speculating here tens of thousands of masonry and bricklaying companies, one thing I can look at is Checker Trade, which I know is a company, at least in the UK, that you can get information for on all sorts of different labour-based businesses. So if we dive into this a little bit, let's have a look at brick. I think it's important to understand as well. Let's just do Centre of Norwich. I think it's important to understand as well that with mason and that keyword, we're not just limited to bricks, but we could also branch out to construction in general. So yeah, I don't want to do it in that area. I want to be looking like nationwide. How can I do this nationwide? Builder. Extension or conversion. Extension. I don't want to do that. How many bricklayers in the UK? 60,000 working as a bricklayer. Okay. 42,000 in home building. So these, even if you said there was an average of like 10 per company, there's still an awful lot. There's a big lead pool here. There's definitely enough people that we could be working with here. Cool. Okay, I'm happy with this. Let's go ahead. You can build a successful niche out of anything. Or build a successful business out of anything. You just need to truly understand how to hit and how to hit them with what they actually want and what they desire. And the only way that you can truly do that is through repetition of working with that niche and having conversation. So you work with them over a period of time, you get to know them, you know what they want, and you start tailoring your service specifically around that. I don't know whether it's because I'm recording right now, but I'm not receiving this text from PayPal, so I'll get that set up afterwards. I'll make sure I remember to do that before this video is out. Okay, so I'm going to leave that open. We'll get that sorted. Let's go back to this. And so we've got our agency name sorted. Now on the basis that I've seen this video, I actually think, just because it's the only thing that we've seen, I think that I'm going to say, look, let's go ahead with Google Ads to start off with rather than Facebook. I think that's probably going to be the most sensible. I know we can generate $20 leads on Google. And so let's start there, and we can always test out Facebook if that didn't work out down the line. Okay, so we've got our agency name, we've got our website. Let's create a logo. Let's move on to this. So how are we going to do this? So I would recommend using a logo generator, AI logo generator. Now this can act as a foundation. We could also go over to Fiverr. So we can type in logo design. Here we see we've got a whole bunch of different people that can design logos for us. We don't really want anything like this. We want something more simple like this. This kind of minimalist approach is nice. So we'll keep it simple. But yeah, so we can pay someone here. We're going to do an AI logo generator. So let's do like Brandmark, for example. Create my logo. And we're called Mason Flow. I'm not going to do a slogan. Although we could see, can you come up with 10 slogans for Mason Flow? Good to see what it comes up with there. Keywords, brick, build, masonry, scale, advertising, marketing, okay? Colours, let's go. What are the biggest brands in bricklaying, I suppose? Tool station. What colours have we got there? Not a massive fan of those colours, but they are very construction-y. You could go with a yellow of some sort. See what this comes up with. We could also look at colour psychology if we want to as well. This blue could also be pretty suitable. So we could go for like a blue, but lots of agencies go for blue. I quite like the idea of going for like a yellow, maybe even a purple, or a brown. Brown could work nicely. Ah, look at that. That's pretty clean straight off the bat. I don't know what that's going on there. Like we've got, it's not quite a brick. Mason flow. This is nice. Let's see what we've got. So we've got that brick. I'm not entirely sure. I quite like these bricks. I wonder if we could play around with this ourselves. Let's see what we can build out. I wonder if we could make these bricks work in some way. Building your business brick by brick, paving your way to more leads. Strengthen your foundations. Mason flow, strengthen your foundations. That's quite nice. Maybe we won't use one of these just yet, but I'll put one of these inside of here just to see if it comes up with anything cool. So you do get a lot of generics. I do like this simple brick though. I like this. I don't like the circle around it. I think we could get rid of that container. There's something about this brick I like though. I'm going to get rid of the slogan for now. I don't think we need that. Got that kind of blue and then we've got the red going on. Let's see what that red looks like. Is it a little bit too corporate maybe? It needs to be a little bit more masculine is what it needs. Maybe the lowercase is not. Maybe it needs to be a little bit more masculine. Kind of goes without saying, guys, that like normally be spending a little bit more time on this potentially. I don't really recommend you guys doing so. You can pay someone to do this, like as an easy way in, or easy way out, I should say. But I want to get this done for you guys without us, or with us having efficient time to move on to other stuff. You know, I'm going to keep it simple. This is what I'm going to go for right now. If I change my mind, then we can come back to this. But I think, like, keeping things relatively simple, I don't think there's any danger in doing that. What I would like to see is potentially like an emblem of some sort. I like that we have this gradient kind of using those masonry colours. I think it's a little bit modern, so what I would like to see is like a brick So let's just, in fact, I might be able to download this and just, can I save this? Let me just go on there. Let me just quickly do this. Let's open up Photoshop and see what we can do. So if I take this, paste, just get rid of that background. Lovely. Right now, I am wasting time. That is what has happened. I am wasting time on building out this logo when I don't need to. Okay? There's absolutely no reason right now that I should be spending all of this time building this logo out for this agency when it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that I sign up clients. That is the only thing that fundamentally matters. The only thing that matters, the clients don't care what the logo looks like, the clients care how the service is. So I'm going to download that right now. We're going to slap this on this, and we're going to take this as a lesson. Okay, a lesson that we absolutely cannot be spending hours upon hours and hours designing our logo. We've got all the time in the world to pay a designer who can do that for us. Okay, we don't need to be wasting our time doing that. Look at that, Mason Flow. She's looking clean up the top there. She's looking good. I'm quite happy with that. Maybe we make this background black. Just make it look a little bit cleaner. Ooh, look at that. Come on, look at that. Okay, nice. We're feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. This is aligning now. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add these colours to this. So we've kind of got this colour is the end gradient, and then we have this colour here as this. So here we go. This is Mason Flow. These are our foundations. We have our agency name. We've got our domain name. We've got our location. We know our niche. We know that we're going to be offering Google Ad service, okay, because we've seen that great case study, but also because people will be coming inbound for this service. That sounds good. We've got a logo there that we may play around with in the future, but we're not going to waste too much time. We have our ICP listed here, okay. We've got initial sub-niches of like bricklaying. We've got concrete. We've got construction. We've got extensions. Okay, the list really goes on from this. We can build this out a little bit more. What we don't have right now is a website. And look, I haven't got time for this right this second. I'm 7 minutes away to a call that I've got. It's really important. I can't spend more time on this right now. I've been doing this for a couple of hours. But if you guys comment down below, if enough of you enter the competition to get this agency, if there's enough demand for this, I will create another video. I'll create a part 2 where I will build out the agency for this the website for this agency. I will then, let's go back to our Miro board. I will then go ahead and start generating some leads. I'll get the first batch of leads for this agency. Maybe even build out the outreach strategy, develop the offer. We'll build the email, the scripts, the DM, the cold calls, okay? Maybe. If enough of you guys comment down below. And this really is then going to extend that package that you're going to win if you win this agency. But also for those of you that don't win, it's a great opportunity for you to learn to replicate. I think one thing I want to just finalize on saying is it's really important that when you're watching videos like this, you're not just copying everything that I'm doing, like word for word. This is based on one specific niche and one specific area. And what I'm doing here is I'm studying individual circumstances. I'm not just listening to something I've heard online. I've heard, oh, masonry's good, bricklaying's good, great. Let me just apply that. I've had a look into the area in Toronto. I've recognized that actually they're not called bricklayers, they're called masonry companies. And therefore I'm adapting to that. I've had a look at the specific problems they're facing. I've recognized that their websites are actually pretty decent, but they're not running ads, albeit one of them is running ads. And so the ICP differs. And so it's very important that we're on an individual basis doing our own research and we're not just copying the information that we find online. You're not going to build a successful agency doing that. Yes, you will be in an advantageous position if, when you build an agency, you follow a trodden path from someone like me that's already been out there and has done it. Whether you join my program or join our free community, whatever you do, we have a trodden path that you can follow, right? But the key is knowing how to break away from that path and use your own initiative, use your own head to create your own. And that is how you break free of the 10K a month agencies. That is how you make 100K a month, you make 500K a month with your agency, you scale up and have bigger opportunities. Great entrepreneurs use their own brain to create their own path based on their previous learnings, and they kind of take all of those learnings from other people before them. Okay, cool. I need to prepare for this call. I'll speak to you soon. Let me know if you want part 2, and I'll see you then. Cheers.